The DMs work for the players. Yeah. No, yeah. Players definitely don't work for the DMs. That is not a thing that happens. If you are a DM because you like control, you're going to suck. Don't do it. Just play. Control your character. Anyways, where was I? 3-hour session, plan 5 things. Combat, shopping. I'm just going to take those out. It could be combat, shopping, escaping from jail, etc. I'm just going to say escaping. We don't need to pigeonhole it, etc. Each thing's going to take you 15, 20 minutes. It could be so many things now that I think about it. Yeah. So for 3-hour session, plan 5 things. It could be 5 combats. Like maybe you're just running a dungeon crawl. Example, dungeon crawl. Classic. 5 rooms. You can have a puzzle. Oh, and this is the 5 by 5. I like that too. And if you want to structure all of your games like this, the 5-room setup is perfect. But just don't make it rooms. Like, let's review our game. We started out, you guys, one location, the little square that had like the market around for Declan's estate, the Spats estate, which I can still only think of sunflower seeds. Sure, yeah, Augie traps, puzzles, minions, main boss loot. Yeah, exactly. Or if you're like me, you go traps, puzzles, minions, main boss, and then like a room that was like, why are you here? But in our game, we had the square that had the market, and then you guys went to the cartographers, and then where did you guys go after that? My brain's totally not even thinking about this anymore. So you had the cartographers, and then you guys went. You were trying to get out the gates, where you ran into a conflict. So that's the other thing. The third part wasn't really a room, wasn't really a location. I just threw in a conflict. You said like, hey, by the way, you're a bard. You literally walked off the stage to go join these other people in their adventure. Like, you have a job. You're just gonna go leave? That's gonna cause trouble. That's gonna cause problems. So, I was like, hey, you have other engagements. And he's like, oh God, how do I deal with that? So he had to go talk to the dude, and now you're at another location, which is your 5. I just used a conflict to prompt the location switch. And you had the bar fights. So you had your social interactions with all that stuff. So you have five different things that happen. And that's just kind of how it ends up naturally flowing anyways. Rooms you have. One could be entrance, combat, puzzle. You don't feel like it railroaded? Yeah, that's good. Well, in hindsight, I probably could have let you guys just go off to the hills like you wanted and all that stuff. Like, I know it's out there already. I know what's gonna happen. Yeah. And really what it was just I didn't design my hook into the situation very well. You guys were already kind of going on your way, and you didn't really have a reason. My hook ended up just being a distraction from what you guys wanted to do. So John Paul was like, yeah, let's just go out and get this thing, because his character's like, yeah, let's just go recover this artifact. And you're all like you're all like that. You all wanted to just go get it done. And thanks. I was hoping it would be entertaining, um, especially after I felt like I was pushing a little too hard my narrative. Like I wanted to go this way. I need them to talk to that person. I felt like I was doing that a little too hard, so I just kind of was like, well, let's let them have some fun. Do whatever you want, like however you want to do it. You guys made some really good insight checks on um, on the half orc that was leading the bards there, and I had it gave me the chance to have a lot of fun playing that character. You guys don't know, but that character, um, I mean, I haven't written exactly how important everyone is to the story. Yeah, yeah, I fully expect you guys to do that at some point, which is why for me I try to build the whole world as much as possible. So if you're if you guys decide to just, I don't want to chase down these artifacts anymore, like what I want to do is go to the Anodyne Tower and I want to cause trouble, and I want to make the Anodyne Tower is basically the UN of the fantasy land. It's like in the middle of a lake surrounded by sea elves who keep it safe because they're neutral, and yeah, that's what they do. They're the UN. So you guys might decide that you want to shake things up a little bit and you want to get politics going. Cool. Like I know the basic political structure of the world because I made it. So if you guys want to get involved in that, do it. I don't think you will because none of you really like it. But if you did, I'd be like, oh, okay. The elves hate you because you're dwarves. That's not true, but anyways. So planning for a 3-hour session, plan 5 things. I'm just doing an example here of like a dungeon crawl. If you take a dungeon crawl and you expand it into more generalized terms, it's such a useful tool, especially if you don't know where to go. And what is his name? YouTube. He does these videos on how to be a great GM. Awesome videos. I watch at least one like every day on my lunch break. Sometimes they're too long, but he has some great stuff on campaign design as well. It didn't work for me, but I'm weird. Yeah, plug. Yeah. You know what? Let me pull up. I love his channel. Let me pull it up. He's a great guy. He's a DM. He lives in South Africa, which just makes it all that more interesting. He's got a Patreon and all that stuff. No, not how to be a great storyteller. How to be a great GM. Stupid autofill. That's the other thing for any new DMs. Google and YouTube, stuff like that, as much as you can stand. All right, here we go. Here's the guy. How to be a great game master. This dude. I forget his name. But it's awesome. Is this his actual channel, or did someone else do this? I feel like this is not his actual stuff. My internet cannot handle this right now, guys. Okay, anyways. Oh, could not handle that. Okay. Anyways, his stuff is awesome. How to be a great game master. Go look that up. I know. Copyright. Oh, God. Yeah, it'll be fine. And he has this saying that I did pull and I find super useful. It says the hook to any great story, or the not the hook to any great story, but a good motivational piece to think about is pick a bad guy And then no matter what it is, the main conflict can be someone wants something and is having trouble getting it. And that's so simple. Anyone can think about that. Let's pick a bad guy. Let's find something that he wants. Okay, he's having trouble getting it. Now you just have to work from there. And I'm not going to put that in my notes because it's not mine, it's his. I really wish I could remember his name right now. I'll put it in Discord and stuff later. But that's where I started out with the campaign that we're working right now. Said, all right, this guy's, he's getting something and he's having trouble getting it. So, and little, not too much of a spoiler because it's super obvious, but you guys are the reason he's having trouble getting it. Hence why the game exists. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, it is a pretty loose term, but I actually haven't heard anyone else say it in that much of a simple, straightforward way, and I really liked it. He's got a whole video on that. It's like his videos are like 15 to 20 minutes long, unless he's doing like world building and map making, then they're a little longer. But it's good, like on a lunch break, just grab one of the videos. All right, we are planning a 3-hour session. Plan 5 things. We're gonna go with the 5 rooms format. The entrance is going to be a combat or a puzzle or something like that. So, oh no, I can't hashtag. Ooh. Yeah, there we go. Entrance, a combat puzzle. Okay, so let's say you start out in a town. We're going to start in a tavern. Are we just assuming players want to explore? I think that it is a safe assumption to assume that players will always ask more about things that they're interested in. So just I actually have a note in my Evernote, which I can pull that up and show you guys too. I actually have a note in my Evernote that that has stuff that I think you guys are interested in. Oh, versus like okay, versus like a reason to really be in the dungeon. Yeah, so if you're doing one shots, you kind of just have to be like, hey guys, can you all agree that your players are motivated to go into this dungeon because you've been hired to save 6 townspeople who have been kidnapped by a wolf person, right? You could do that. Just provide that motivation. So in going back, the villain wants something and is having trouble getting it. The lycanthrope wants to eat people and he's having trouble because the guards keep stopping him. Right? Just take that and run with it. Throw out whatever other ideas you have. For new players to D&D, that's tough. It depends on where your players are coming from. Chances are they want to play because they like stuff like Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, and it's the same thing. And or they've played games that are like open world or Skyrim or whatever, right? Or World of Warcraft, and they want to try D&D. The toughest part about getting new players interested, and especially for new DMs, is descriptions. Yeah, fantasy. They like fantasy, and so they want to try D&D. Or they like storytelling and they want to try D&D. Those are the easiest ones to get involved in. They tend to jump in a little bit more, all in. No test in the water here. But for those who aren't necessarily familiar with storytelling RPGs, it's really important to have that session 0 so they get a feel for it. They can do whatever they want and you see what they're into. But as far as motivation goes, don't worry too much about intense descriptions. There's another D&D sage who I really like. You can Google it. The Angry Dungeon Master, or the Angry DM. His blogs are awesome and funny, and there's some cursing in there, so all you kids, whatever, you all click the little warning before you watch the thing. Yeah, so go look those up. He's got a lot of great ways to look at stuff. Yeah, okay, establishing what the group likes in session 0 could be good as well. So like before we started our game, we'd been talking for like a month about characters and what do they like, and I think that's super important. Talk to your characters about what they like. Talk to the players about what they like. Puts the DM in the right direction, yeah. Because if you, okay, I'm gonna put that first actually. Before anything else. Before anything else, do not even think about campaign design until you do this. Ask your players why they want to play. You can do everything in your power to get character motivation, but if your players don't want to do it, it does not matter what their character is like. And the other side of that coin is, you've probably heard about the players who just, well, I'm just playing my character. Yeah, but you just burned down the orphanage and we're supposed to be heroes. Well, I'm just playing my character. Yeah, that person is suffering from the same disconnect. The person is not interested in the game. It doesn't really matter what their character's like, they're not interested. So before you do anything else, don't even think about your campaign. Salty. Well, no, I mean, when a player becomes disinterested in the campaign and just falls back on the, well, I'm just playing my character, there's a 50-50. There's a 50-50 between the player and the DM. There's a little bit of a shortcoming on both sides. So if there are times where you need to do things that are in character that will cause trouble, if your character would do that, because it's not honest and it's not good role playing if you don't, right? Like, oh, I know if I steal that thing, it's gonna cause so much trouble for the rest of the party, but I'm a thief and a kleptomaniac, and it wouldn't make any sense to leave that there. Also, it's like a prized jewel that once belonged to my family, but like, I'll just leave it because it's gonna cause too much trouble. That doesn't make any sense. You've got to take the thing, you've got to steal it. It's gonna cause trouble, but you got to do it because you're playing a character. But on the other hand, your motivation as a person, as a player, yeah, that's flavor, like salt. But your motivation as a player has to be to move the story. You can't just say, I'm just doing what my character would do. Like, well, your character is a character in a story. If your character is not doing the story, or I mean, and not talking in a railroady way, like we're all doing this thing and we have to because that's the story. But if your character's not doing something in the story, why are they in it? Think about any great book you've read. Like, do any of the characters just not do anything story related? No, because then they wouldn't be in the story, because why are they there? Like, if that's what you want your character to do, your character's not in the story anymore. Go away. So there's the shortcoming on the player side. But and if you're not interested, or you want to be able to handle situations in a certain way, like, I just want to be able to hit everything I see in this game. I want to play a game where my character can just beat up everything it sees. I want to be the Hulk with no one to calm him down. I just want to hit everything. Okay, we'll talk to your DM about that. That might not be a game that he wants to run, so you need to play a different game. Or find something else that you'll enjoy and play that instead. Play that type of character instead. If you've built a character that won't work with the story, then you shouldn't be playing that game. Just don't do it. You're going to make everyone else frustrated, and it's really going to suck for the game. And the DM spends a lot of time, setting all this stuff up for you guys. So just don't do that. Don't do that. So anyways, ask your players why they want to play. It doesn't matter how, my gosh, I cannot type. I work in IT, guys, and I can't type. This is pathetic. Evil skirmish campaign sounds fun, actually. Regional conquest. Well, there is like a whole part of the world that hasn't been retamed yet, so if you guys want to build up an army and go to a... We'll talk about that later. Do it. If you look at the map, the top left of the world map is the Hinterwood. There's Pembry, which is like the halfling village, and then there's the Pembry Woods, and then there's the Hinterwood, and then there's the Ocean of Trees. So there's like layers, and that's all just wild still. And this isn't any like extra knowledge. Like your characters would know this. Everyone knows what the Sea of Trees is, the Ocean of Trees, and Pembry's a well-known town. I cannot type. So that's how I chose to say that. Spell check. Oh, okay. I guess it doesn't autocorrect for me. Ask your players whether they want to play. It doesn't matter how cool their character is. If the person doesn't want to propel the story forward in a way that everyone agrees on, or at least can have fun with, the game's dead. It doesn't matter if it's officially been killed yet, or if... it doesn't matter if it continues to go for 3 or 4 more weeks. As soon as this takes hold, if it doesn't get corrected, and it is a problem that needs to be corrected, the game's dead. It will never finish. And everyone who's watching this has probably seen this happen before. You get a character who just like, either they want all the limelight, and it's not always that they want all the limelight. Sometimes they're just not interested in what the story is. Or they don't feel like anyone cares what they have to say. And so they just go, well, this is what my character would do. And for players, if you are doing that, I hate you. And you need to stop. But no, on a serious note, really take a look and see if you're enjoying the game. If you're not enjoying the game, just let them know and let the rest of the team know and don't play. I'm not talking directly to my players, even though that's pretty much everyone who's watching. I'm just saying if anyone else watches this after as a recording, do this. And DMs, ask your players if they're having fun. If you sense this is going awry, just ask them. But players, you've made a character. Now you have to decide, not would my character do this? If it's a story point and you know this is where the story point is going, don't say, well, my character wouldn't do that. Or, well, would my character really care about that? That's not the question you're supposed to be asking. This is a book that you're all writing together. This is a fantasy adventure novel that you're all writing together. Don't ask, would my character do that? It's happening. It's part of the story. So instead, ask, how would my character do that? My character is doing that. And you're playing with the rest of the team, you're playing with the party. You're all going to do those things. Each individual person has to decide, okay, this is the character that I've made for this story. How is my character going to do this? It's not an if, it's how. And that's a really good way to avoid this happening, is from the beginning as a player, have that mentality. So for players, don't ask, well, why does my character care? Or not, why does my character care? You should be asking that, but you should already be decided that your character does care. Let's do for that player. Decide that you will be part of the story. I don't like writing a whole list of don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. Except for in the rules, don't do that stuff.